He used to write me letters like, man, write the president. Then my Shelly, his baby, he's like, dog, write the president, write the president. I'm like, man, what I'm gonna do writing the president, right? He ain't gonna let me out.
We didn't get your name at first. You should give a shout out your name.
Oh man, look, man, my name is Barry Cooley, man.
All
But
right.
for everybody that know me, I'm Big Fat Dog, 52nd Street in Broadway.
Well, I wanted to say appreciate you for sitting down with us. So how long was you in there before this happened? How long was you in there? You was in a federal prison, right?
About 14 years.
So after 14 years serving a life sentence,
I didn't get straight out, man.
you didn't.
No, they gave me a date. They gave me a date, which was 18. So after I got the life sentence took off me, they told me I had to go to an RDAP program.
So you took the life sentence, or that was just that?
Yeah.
And then you
I had to go to an RDAP program to prepare to come back to the streets.
or prepare you for society.
Yes, sir. So one day I got a letter, and I was scared to open the letter because I've been getting denied so much. So they gave me a lawyer. It was for this law firm. And then when I told Bone, I said, Bone, will you please open the letter? Because I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Bone opened up the letter. He's like, damn, look at this paper here, dog. This is some kind of paper that we ain't seen this kind of paper. And it was the lawyer. So then I called him. So when I called him, and I started telling them all this stuff, like how to do it, and they said, look, we don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that because you're going to a President Obama. You wrote the letter already. So you're going to Obama, we don't want to hear. They want you to admit you're wrong.
Yeah.
So I walked around the yard, they asked the different homies, man, I need some help. They said, no, you don't, because this is you only know you. And which each one of us know ourselves. So what I did was I sat on, I meditated on, I prayed first because I kept God in it. And then I sat down, I wrote me a letter. And the letter got accepted. My lawyers, they was calling me and telling me that, okay, that's a good letter, they accepted it. So they put me through. The first time they denied it. And when they denied it, my lawyer, she said, no, we're going to keep fighting this. The reason that I was denied because of my gang allegations, and I had a robbery, which was really misdemeanors. But at the end of the day, they came through, and John said, they said, Barry, he said, I can't make you no promises, but I can tell you one thing, we're good at what we do. And to prove that they're good at what they do, I'm sitting here in this chair today.
So since you've been home, what's some of the things that you want to accomplish and you want to, you was able to get out and not finish a life sentence? What was your mindset of how would you impact the streets now that you're home?
Well, me born from the streets, being a street guy, that was all I knew. Come from a good family and all that, but that's all I knew. I adapted to that street life at an early age. So when I got out, part of me wanted to just step back in, and I've never been there. Then I had a homie named Anthony Woley. He had called me on the phone like, what the hell are you doing, man? Get out there, you got a job, you work at the law firm, stay away. But my purpose was really to go over there and to grab one at a time, one youngster at a time, and kind of talk to them and tell them about this life that we live in. It's going to lead to death or incarceration.
Period.
Yes. So as far as stepping back into the street, I didn't step back into the street, but I went to the streets. I went to them.
What will be your plan, and what type of work you doing right now? As you say, you reaching back and talking to youngsters and trying to encourage them.
Well, me myself, if you want to change a youngster's life, you got to show them a life. You got to practice what you preach, basically. So you can't take a youngster and tell them how jail is and all your war stories, because me being a youngster, when I used to hear older guys talk about when they first go to jail and all that, you got to fight and all this. I wanted this. So because it's something that everyone wants, youngsters as far as I'm concerned. So you can't not take a youngster and tell him your war stories. You got to show a youngster how to live, man. You got to show a youngster, you got to be like, the books that we read, we was forced because we went to jail. And school don't teach this stuff. You know? So all the books I read, it was forced because I ain't had no time. I was in the hole or we was on lockdown, and I picked up books and I read them. Not militant books, but books to be successful. How to live with another person, how to live with yourself. So we gotta start here with us.
Yeah.
And with the youngsters, only thing I can do is like, you got to show. You can't tell them. You got to really live and lead by example. You can't say, come here, man, I used to be this and I used to be that. No, you got to say, well, here today, man, let's go to the library, let's go get a book. I want you to read this book, right? And then, what book is it? It don't make a difference what kind of book it is. Read this book because reading is knowledge. And then they got to see you getting off work, coming home dirty.
Yeah.
And, you know, they can't see you sitting on the corner, drinking, smoking weed, which everybody doing now. That's not gonna help our youth. Helping our youth is leading by example. You know, you gotta take them places like get a softball game, a volleyball game, something that's non-physical to make them happy, you know, and give them incentives, you know. Even if they go play a basketball game for 30 minutes, buy everybody a soda, not just one person, everybody.
And we need stories from guys like you that been through something. Oh, real quick, how old are you?
I'm 60. I'll be 61 Monday. Y'all been doing this a long time.
That's crazy.
I know I don't look that old.
That's crazy. And you been in the streets at what age you started hanging out in the streets?
Listen here, man, I ain't even lying to you. I'm gonna tell you something. I've been in the streets. I wasn't in the street, I was sneaking out being in the street though. You know, you know, mom and my mom come and grab us, snatched us by here, me and my brother Baba. But I've been doing this shit. I've been around the gang area since I was actually 12, and that was 1972. I didn't really get like acting until like 75, right? To acting where I was sure who I was. You know, then I was just a guy that just liked the tough guys. And never did I ever think that I would be called an OG. And man, that's some weird stuff, man, because I was always a little homie.
What do you feel about guys that's in gangs, that got families, that got kids, they really got a family life. They got a wife, they got kids, but they active gang members, and at the same time, they going to the grocery store with their kids. They going places with their mom, and knowing that they not really accepting their lifestyle and challenging, understanding that they lifestyle have consequences, and then they're endangering their kids, they're endangering their parents. What's your take on that?
Well, I'm gonna tell you the truth. I don't want to be one that's hypocrisy. With the hypocrisy, I don't want to be telling lies, because that was me. Everything you just said, that was me. I always sit aside. That was me.
Yeah, tell the truth.
For me, I mean, 5 this was all I knew. But I don't want to see these other guys doing this. But at the time, that's all I knew. And we was a family, and we had to still go home and be with mom. There's been times that I was with the store with my mother. I didn't want to get out the car. She go in another neighborhood. Excuse me. And I used to sit in my cell, right, like on lockdown. I say, dang, you did some stupid shit. But you can't tell nobody. You can't tell them that it's stupid. That's why a few minutes ago I said we have to show them. See what I'm saying? We can't tell them, look, homie, you got your mom, you got your daughter, you got your son. You can walk up and tell somebody, egos are real big. You know, if you come tell me like, look, man, you got the shoestrings on, I'll be like, this ain't telling me this. No, we got to show them. Even though it's not good at all, because you put your family in harm's way. You put yourself in harm's way. You a known gang member, but it's been told, if you notice, you've been hearing that story for years. People been with their mother, they've been with their sister, they've been with their kids, and dudes come by, they give some dudes a pass, some don't last. So what I can say on that issue right there is, that's a hard issue, man. It's hard to speak on, because you cannot tell a dude, don't do this. You had to show him, man, you know? Yeah. And to show, honestly, you really got to show him, and like programs that you doing like this and with people, and the youngsters, they can feed off their energy, they can feed off our energy, and then they can start doing it. You know what I'm saying? Stop taking your girl to places like this. Stop taking your kids and stuff. But when you tell people that, they're not gonna listen, man. But at that time, we didn't have nobody sitting like on this couch saying this to get that message through, because everybody was doing it. And at our time, and it wasn't, like you said, it wasn't that hard. You know, it was happening, but it was happening like, you know, you might give a fade or something, and then like your mom and him would give you that pass. So what I did say it was the truth that I did live that life and I was doing that. I'm saying it's true. But what you said is absolutely right, because I'm sitting up here thinking of incidents I done heard since I've been out. Dog, write the president, write the president. I'm like, man, what I'm gonna do writing the president, right? He ain't gonna let me out. Like, man, write the president. Then my celly, his baby, he's like, dog, write the president, write the president. I'm like, man, what I'm gonna do writing the president, right? He ain't gonna let me out. Like, man, write the president. Then my celly, his baby, he's like, dog, write the president, write the president. I'm like, man, what I'm gonna do writing the president, right? He ain't gonna let me out.